To discuss this, I'm joined by human rights lawyer Henry Ekine. Hello, Henry. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good evening.
Good evening. All right, so tell us, how does the recent Solidarity March in Port Harcourt, reflect the political climate in Rivers State?
Well, citizens have the right to express themselves, and they could do so individually, and then could also do so in groups. So that's, for me, an expression of the provisions of the Constitution in terms of the rights of citizens to express themselves. But the reflection with these protests and marches across the streets in Port Harcourt, for me, only reflects the perception of the people and how they understand the issues that seem to arise in Rivers State. There have been divergent constructions, interpretation of positions in matters in court, and then also construction in terms of interpretation of the outcomes of some of the matters in court, and then also the decisions of the government, the governor, and those who had been in power at the local government levels. So all of these have actually led to these marches and protests and, if you like, expression of their views. Different groups. I can see this is by the National Nigerian Youth Council of Nigeria, or National Youth Council of Nigeria. I've also watched, I think the last one day, another by some former local government chairmen in the respective local government areas. And then again, a planned march by the organized labor, which of course didn't take place in respect to the directive of the police. So all of these, I think, they are reflections of their perception, their understanding, and their interpretation of some of the outcomes of the decisions of court and even matters that are still in court.
Okay, Henry. Now, how do you view the role of the Inspector General of Police in this crisis? And, if you could tell us also the implications of continuing police occupation of council secretariat complexes.
I had actually expressed my view that the directive of the Inspector General of Police and then the action of the Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Dusu in Rivers State, and his men are unconstitutional, unlawful, and illegal, and do not represent some respect for a tier of government in our federation. Because whatever the interpretation, whatever the justification that the Inspector General of Police will give and the Commissioner of Police, the fact is that there has been obstruction of government and administration at the local government level in Rivers State. Imagine a situation where an entire tier of the three-tier federation that we run has been confiscated and obstructed by the Nigerian police. There will be no justification. I just listened to the Commissioner of Police who responded to the protesters at the state police headquarters in Moscow, that as a police officer, he has a duty to protect lives and property. Yes, that's the duty of the police, but you also have a fundamental duty to protect the rights of citizens. The 2020 Police Act has clearly, in the general objectives and specific objectives of the Nigerian police, the supposedly renewed Nigerian police, to also, in performing its function, the conventional, traditional functions of protecting lives and property, but this time to also respect the rights of citizens, including the rights of workers. You see, the workers at the local government level across the state have just unjustly been prevented from going to work. Service providers have been restrained and obstructed from providing services to the people in the local government. The health sector, the primary health sector in the local government, primary education in the local government, and other core services that local government administration is supposed to provide to the people. The police never imagined all of this. They never gave any concern to what would be the greater implication and consequence of this one-sided decision to want to purportedly protect lives and property, and then obstruct governance and administration in a democratic society.
All right, so Henry, now talking about obstructing governance and administration in a democratic society, now, in your opinion, what would you say are the main reasons for the deepening political crisis in Rivers State, because this has been ongoing for a really, really long time, and it keeps getting deeper and deeper, as time passes. And how can these issues be addressed effectively?
You see, I have thought that what the police needed to have done, a proactive policing system would have been such that if they had really observed the rising indicators, you see, you have to be very proactive to understand the early warning signs. The rising indicators when utterances were made by the outgoing local government chairman at the time, and then the police never invited any one of them. That would have been a remedy to also forestall the orchestrated breakdown of law and order that the police is kind of pretending to want to prevent. Now, they never did that. Okay, that has happened. Some local government chairmen who served for 3 years pursuant to their election in 2021, and then the certificate of return having expired, their oath of office having expired on the 17th, they ought to have been directed by the security agencies to stay away from governance. Even if they thought that there were some pending legal matters, that they were expecting certain outcomes that would have returned them to office, they should have waited. Now, the police have come in, but the police ought to have been circumspect, and then also remember that there are legitimate innocent workers. So what should they have done? I thought that the police should have collaborated. Of course, the Police Act enables them to partner with other security agencies, perhaps with the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, and get a number of policemen and the corps members, and then secure certain strategic points of entry into the respective security secretariats, and then direct that if you have no business to come to the secretariat, do not come in. They could simply do such, perhaps show your identity card as a staff of the local government and come in, or show any proof of providing services for the local government and come in. Okay. And then ensure that the heads of programs, there are program officers and heads of units in the local government areas to provide certain essential services, should have gone to do work. Then what would they do? These workers should go to work under the protection of the police. They also have a duty to protect those workers to do their work. Then ensure that those you already see, the players in this system in Rivers State are known. The former 21 local government chairmen who are insisting to come back to work, they are known. And so you make sure that you identify them, profile them, and give them clear directive, if you like, invite them to your offices, and then cause them to undertake not to come close, including the caretaker committee members, chairmen that have been sworn in. If the police thought that both sides should not come to the secretariat, you can also prevent them from coming in. But to shut down the entire local government system in Rivers State for however it's going to be, I don't know, because the Inspector General of Police said he was waiting for some outcomes of matters in court. He never said which one precisely. And then why would he select what to wait for? There are judgments that would have enabled the police to allow people to go to work. But he chose not to adhere to those ones, but would rather wait for something that has not come into existence.
All right,
There's
Henry.
no decision of obstructed governance in local government.
All right, Henry. Well, thank you. We have to stop here, but quite an interesting conversation. But thank you so much for speaking to us on this.
Thank you very much for always providing this opportunity to reach out to our people. I quite appreciate this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.